gentlemen, welcome to the Thinking Art Podcast. I am Andrew Glessner with Wesley Malott.
Oh, Andrew's going to introduce me, I guess.
I was going to introduce everybody. That's what I said. Do you want me to introduce?
Go ahead. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
No.
Floor is yours.
All right, fine. Joining me as always is Wesley Malott and producer Sam. And special guest tonight, the Bad Movie Night podcast or YouTube. See, podcast. Stole my thunder, Wes. Joined by Chris Ruppert. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
It's actually Ruppert. No, I'm just kidding. How you doing?
God damn it!
You practiced so long too that I threw you that curveball. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
What's funny is, Chris and I actually live about 10 to 20 minutes away from each other, but we have never met each other. And we've only met via a podcast with another filmmaker that is from St. Louis. So kind of funny how that works out.
I saw Wesley in a Wegmans the one time, and I was like, I should go say hi. But I was like, nope.
Fuck that guy.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, it is funny that we live so close. And like, I don't know, I do a bunch of like local film stuff, and so do you. And yet we have yet to run into each other. But COVID has been
that is true.
That stuff too.
Yep. So for anybody that is in the chat and doesn't know you, would you be kind enough to kind of introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your filmmaking endeavors as well as your YouTube channel?
Sure. So I run Bad Movie Night, which is a YouTube channel. We just hit 5 years, and it's a podcast as well. So we have like 260 episodes of our podcast, which is live every Monday night. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. And then I do movie reviews and stuff like that on the channel as well. A couple videos a week usually, so it's pretty active. And then as far as filmmaking goes, I've made 14 short films, 2 feature-length documentaries, working on a third one. I've edited a feature film and just crowdfunded for my feature film. So
yeah, which is what we're going to kind of talk about for the large portion of this podcast. But before we dive into that, let's kind of dive into you a little bit. And you said you've made...
That was one of these kind of podcasts. But all right.
We're going to dive deep in. So you said you've made 14 short films. Now, are those all short films that you have personally directed, or what was your role in all 14 of those?
Sure. I mean, I'm listed as director on all of them, although some of them are 48-hour things and less, so it's like, it's a team effort. I wrote, I think, all of them. And like I said, I'm listed as director. Some of them, I'm definitely more the director involved in the whole process, but other times it's just like everybody's working together and we're pulling together. So I wouldn't act, when you're shooting the movie and playing 2 characters and directing, it's like, okay, I don't know who's directing anymore.
Wrote, directed, edited, started, but it takes a team.
Exactly. So
a team that is me.
Yeah. And then I've made like one of the short films people seem to really like is Very Pig Trouble, which essentially was just made by me and my daughter about killer guinea pigs. And I was a lead character and did all the camera work and stuff. So again, I don't know who's directing at that point. It's just kind of happening, I think.
Your daughter.
Yeah, pretty much. She's 10, but she nailed it. So yeah.
She's got it.
So in those, I've never really acted, but I've always kind of directed and DP'd my own stuff. What's the process like for you when you like write, direct, act, and shoot, and all these other hats?
Yeah, I don't like acting. I just do it out of necessity sometimes. If it's comedy, I don't mind, because of Bad Movie Night. We used to do with my friend Ian, who's on the channel occasionally. We used to do like these skits for every movie review. So we'd go in front of the green screen and come up with something funny on the fly and then edit it together. So I got more comfortable doing that stuff. So when it's comedy, like I feel okay with it. But if it's a dramatic role, like I just don't have the chops or the experience to like pull in and make some of those lines work like a real actor can. But it did give me like that different perspective for when I am behind the camera and directing a scene, and when it doesn't feel natural, it's like, okay, maybe let the actor kind of change the line so it does start to feel natural or sound natural to their performance and stuff. So yeah, I don't, acting is difficult, especially for dramatic roles, but I do mostly out of necessity when I need to. Otherwise, I prefer not to.
So what came first, your YouTube channel or your filmmaking?
Well, we made like 10 short films like after high school and all that kind of stuff. We made this like 45-minute long Hitman feature thing. And then life happened and kind of, had kids and all that kind of stuff. And then I started the YouTube channel to get just a reason to hang out with my friends again. And from there, we started doing short films, and just have been doing them since, I guess, 5 or 6 years ago. So, and now the momentum's there and the drive is, the passion is back, and doing that more as well professionally with work also keeps that interest alive for me. So before that, I was doing, like, when my friends and I kind of like kids and all that stuff, I would write a ton of music. So I'm also a musician. So I have a big library of albums and stuff I've written. And
so do you compose your own movies too?
For about half of them I have. Depends on the project. If it's like real quick turn, I won't. But for a bunch of them, yeah, I have.
And how about Transient? Are you going to like compose for that?
There's a possibility. I haven't decided yet. There's so much up in the air with Transient, because I had no real expectations for how the crowdfunding would go. And I mean, we'll get into the crowdfunding thing, but that's just like phase 1.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it ends up, where we end up fund wise. We've had, I don't know if you guys ever ran a crowdfunding campain, but
a long time ago.
When I hit the launch button, I don't know, like every freaking musician around like the world just like emails you, is like, hey, I write music. Can I write music for your movie? And I'm like, dude, I'm like literally crowdfunding.
I don't have any money.
Okay, you see, we have $15. Where am I? So I don't know. Like, there's definitely better musicians than me, so it's a possibility. And we had there's a band called the Black Heart Processional or something. My friend AJ, who's actually going to be the DP, is a big fan of them, and their singer wrote us and was like, oh, I'd love to write a song for you for this movie. And so I was like, okay, I don't know.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Real quick, just want to give a quick shout out to the chat. We have Irene, Matthew, and Justin in the house talking in the chat. What's up, everybody? Also, for anybody that's popping into the chat, feel free, if you have a question for Chris, to pop it in the chat and we'll ask him as we go.
Unless it's from Irene. I'm not answering. Just kidding.
Shots fired, Irene. So let's talk about Transient. Transient is your upcoming feature film that you are actively running a crowdfunding campaign for, but actually just a couple hours before we went live on this podcast, you actually met your goal and are continuing to exceed it. So congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. Can you tell us a little bit about Transient and also explain to us kind of, I guess, your reason behind wanting to go the crowdfunding route?
Sure. So Transient is a sci-fi horror movie. I wrote it with a very, very small budget in mind because, again, no expectation for how the crowdfunding would go or how the next phases will go for funding wise. So it's limited locations, few characters, few effects, very budget conscious script. It's not my first feature script I've written either. And every time I've written a feature script, I'm always like, this is awesome. Can't make it because I don't have $300 million. But if we keep trimming down, maybe at some point I can make something. And that's kind of where Transient came from. It's also a spin-off of a short film I made called Memory Leak a few years ago. And just in some of the similar plot beats and story elements come through, but definitely more fleshed out, not flushed out. Hopefully we'll find out. But because I've been doing Bad Movie Night for 5 years and built up a quote unquote fan base, sort of, although it's a fractured fan base, I've been learning about my YouTube channel. It's very fractured. So I wasn't sure. Well, it's like we have probably similar sub numbers, I think, but I don't get nearly as many views as you guys do, or a lot of other channels on my content. It's very sporadic, and our fan base is all over the place. Because like I do those solo movie reviews, and that attracts new subs. Like we get a couple hundred new subs a month from that. But then the podcast is where like our legit fan bases and our patrons and stuff like that all seem to come from there. So the reason for the crowdfunding was like, well, we have an existing fan base. They always say when you're making a movie, you should establish your fan base beforehand. At least that's what I hear from a lot of filmmakers recently. So I went into it with like, I have no idea how much we can get, $5,000 maybe. And it turns out like, yes, I have some amazing fans and patrons and stuff like that who did contribute quite a bit, but I don't even think that's where, if you want to run a crowdfunding campaign, I don't even think like that matters. Like if you're intimidated by the fact that you don't have a YouTube following or anything like that, I think what matters more is actually having like Facebook connections, which I had very little of. I had 150. Because I don't friend anyone on Facebook, because I never use my personal Facebook for my stuff. I always just do everything through my brand. I was trying to get Bad Movie Night and BMN Films as like this brand. Because through Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, I had like 20,000 followers. So I was like, oh, this is excellent. There's a big audience to tap into.
Right.
But not really, because the conversion rate on like 7,000 Twitter followers is probably like less than 1%, if even. You know what I mean?
It's crazy to think about that.
Yeah. And I can spend all this time and energy like spamming out on the Twitter and get nowhere, or you can go through your Facebook friends and hit up everyone individually with a personal message about the movie. And if you're running a crowdfunding campaign, I think that's what you got to do. And that's what we did. And you'd be surprised at how well that works and how scary it is, at least was for me, how uncomfortable it is, like asking random, not random people, but people you like are friends with on Facebook, but maybe never talked to.
Right.
The fear of like putting yourself out there. Yeah. But once you start doing it, it gets easier.
Yeah.
And this crowdfunding campaign wasn't done by just me. My producer, Suji Cruz, was like completely instrumental in this, because she's way more liked than I ever will be. She's a really nice person and has a lot more friends and stuff. So she was awesome. So many connections and stuff. So we built a small team, and then everybody kind of branching out, personally connecting to people really made a big difference. And I have like a whole bunch of stuff I can go through then, like tangible items that I would say what you should do for running a campaign that I've learned that we can go through at some point if you want.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So that
was the reason I went first for the crowdfunding campaign.
Okay. I was going to say, why did you pick crowdfunding over, like a traditional just kind of seeking out an investor? Yeah.
So this is actually what I'm calling phase 1 of funding. So I thought it would be easier to approach investors with an established interest and funds already in hand for the movie. So now I feel like we have people we're going to go to, and we're going to go to them and say, hey, we just ran this crowdfunding campaign, technically out of like Lancaster, PA is what we're saying, because that's where the producer is. It was very successful. We have over 200 backers. We made more than what we were asking for. We're looking for X amount, private equity investment into the film. So I'm hoping that's a selling point for the movie. And then the other plan is, as we've been going through the script, we've been noting like any little possibility of a local business or product that could be used in the movie or utilized. And then we're going to reach out to any form of that kind of business in the area as well, to try and, $500 here for coffee, whatever, like maybe provide some food, whatever we can do. We're going to, scrape and scrap all we can to try and get, as much funds as we can for when we start actually production on the movie.
So I know that you're Indiegogo campaign was set to $20,000. How did you come up with that figure to say like this is kind of like the basically probably the bare minimum that you could pull off the movie with?
Well, okay. So I have a couple different versions of the budget that are all flexible, and I've gotten this question before, and I'll work around to this answer, I guess. But I've gotten the question of like, can you really make a movie for 20 grand? And I'm like, well, it's not really a $20,000 movie. Like when we're shooting on a red epic, like that's how much that thing costs essentially. So we're not paying for that. It's already, we have that. So one of us has that, you know, we have pro lights, we have sound equipment. Like it's just the fact that people aren't being paid what they deserve to be paid. So if you factor in everything and the value, it's probably more like $100,000 movie. Do you know what I mean? Like with everybody, it's just the way these things kind of work.
Yeah, you determine the stuff you've already got, and then the sweat equity you're going to put in.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of sweat equity.
Sweat equity. Yeah. And you know, it is what it is. But I've been doing, you know, same with you guys. I'm sure. Like you do enough movies with people over the years. You form bonds, relationships. You work on their movie, they work on yours. Everybody wants to be paid. Everybody deserves to be paid. But in the end, it's like, we're going to make the movie. Either we're going to make it or we're not. Because a lot of people will just not make the movie until they get the $100,000, $150,000. And a lot of times that's just not going to happen. The way I work this, because I've been involved in movies that are like, we cast everybody and we got all this and we're just waiting on funding, and the funding is never coming. And then 6 months goes by and the cast is like, are we making a movie? And everybody's like, I don't know. I didn't want that to happen this time.
Right.
That's why I did the crowdfunding. I'm like, let's see what happens. We get the money. Okay, we can actually make something now. I want to make more money so we can make something better and pay people more. So that's how we're working this kind of thing. Like I can make the movie, I can make it now for 20 grand and not pay people nearly enough, you know, wheel and deal for locations. But we're going to be a little patient and keep working at it and see where we land. So that was the approach.
What is your target production date?
Tentatively spring 2022, but depending on how some future meetings and stuff go, it could get pushed back to fall. And depending on locations that we can acquire. Because like I said, I wrote it with few locations in mind, but that also means I need basically one of the locations for the majority of the time.
Okay.
And it's kind of a specific thing I'm looking for. So if I can get like the ideal location, but they can only do it in a certain time, then I'll work around that, because there's no need to, you know, hurry along if not need be. So
now, are you trying to film in the Philly area or out towards where your producer and DP are?
No specific, anywhere in between there. I mean, it's like an hour, you know what I mean? Like hour to Lancaster, half an hour, 45 minutes to Philly. It's all about where we can get the locations and stuff, but we're flexible.
What was one of like the biggest challenges with running a crowdfunding campaign?
The emotional roller coaster. It's like, it is. Oh man. I mean, I'm like a depressing, like cynical person all the time. And so when it started and like, it started pretty well. Like the first 3 days, I think we got like 35, almost 40% funded.
Wow.
Oh shit.
And I was like, it's happening. And then like the next 2 weeks are like, guys, I thought it was happening. Where did you all go? And like, it like died. Okay. And I was like, I quit. I'm not doing anything ever again. Deleting the YouTube channel. So, and I think that's actually pretty common for crowdfunding campaigns to like start with a lot of momentum and then a lot at the end as well.
Oh, ours was a nightmare.
Yeah, we had a pretty big roller coaster too.
When it's ours, we didn't ask for a whole lot of money, but we got it, I want to say like 2 weeks before it ended. And then about 3 days before, there was one person who gave us a nice chunk of money who had to pull all of that money out like a week to go. So we went from overfunded to severely underfunded.
Oh, no.
Pretty quick, and then we had to mad dash, and that like
we kind of did one of yours where we just hit up everybody we knew,
everybody
for money.
Yeah, that would be crushing. Like to see the number, be like, yes, we did it, and then to have it taken away from you.
Oh yeah,
it sucked.
Because all right, we got to start blowing everybody right now.
Yeah, well, you do what you got to do. Right? I'm not here to judge. All right.
Hey, look, we made the movie. All right.
Some things got blown. Okay. Yeah, no, we only have one guy pull. He like did 25, and then he's like, you know what, fuck this movie, and pulled 25 out. I was like, all right, whatever, dude. Which
$25?
Yeah, it was just 25.
Okay.
Like, why are you like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
I
heard. Watch out, man! Don't make too many power moves like that.
I hope he sent you a message too that said, "Fuck this movie." I'm taking my 25 back. Real quick, Monster Kid Productions says, "I love you, Chris. Have my baby." What is up, James? How you doing?
Have you guys seen his movie yet?
I haven't. I'm really excited to
Yeah.
not only watch it, but also have him on the podcast and talk about his movie kind of closer to the release.
Yeah,
so
that'd be awesome. Yeah, his movie's really fun.
Really excited to watch it. And I know a friend of mine and anybody in the chat that is a fan of Thinking Art, Michael Mowen, I think, did the dialogue mix on the movie. So
which movie is it?
Fontaine and
the craziest name ever. I just know it as Maniac Nun.
Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. So that's James. Okay, I wasn't sure. I just stole a meme from James before we got on Twitter tonight.
Is it Fontaine and the Vengeful Nun Who Wouldn't Die? He's gonna be mad because I don't know it.
Like that.
Something
Well, according
look, he
to his
can put
Blu-ray cover, it's Manic Nun now.
Oh man. Okay. Is it really? Is it? Wait, did they?
Is it Manic or Mania? Oh my god!
I think they sent him a typo, I guess.
Oh, well.
I still feel like Manic Nun probably kind of works.
It kind of works, yeah.
Danny Hux is in the house. What's up, Danny? How you doing?
He's got $3.25. Fuck yeah, Danny. Same. Let's make a movie, buddy. Any kind you want.
Yeah, I was like super surprised by the people that come out and like really support this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Like I like messaged a dude who like I hadn't even talked to like maybe like 10th grade or something. And he's like, oh yeah, this looks cool. And he's like, here's $300. It's like,
yeah,
my God, which is awesome. Like I wish I could return the favor someday, or hope I can in some way. So it's surprising when you put yourself out there, like how some people will support you and stuff like that. So
and then you get all the ignore messages too.
Oh, a million, which is fine. Like that's
yeah.
I didn't get anyone saying like, I'm not doing this, you asshole. Like I think like one person on Twitter or Facebook posted like a meme that was like, no. And I'm like, all right, well then just don't. Like I don't even know who you are. So it doesn't
just say no, Mom. That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. Dude.
Wait, Andrew, are you balding?
Am I?
I don't know.
No comment.
I guess it's just the way your hair.
Oh, it's the way I have that stupid filter on.
Oh, okay.
And the way
I just caught a
filter.
quick glimpse, and I was like, "Man, are you like legit like hardcore balding right now?"
Let's get into this on this stream right now,
Yeah.
Andrew. Can you let's really dive into this.
I have some
It's been
stress.
forever
Things
since
have
I've
been
seen you. Yeah. So crowdfunding. We talked about your biggest challenges. What are, I guess, like some of the cons that you've experienced with the crowdfunding campaign?
Well, you're on the hook now, right? Like all these people, like I owe them
All the perks.
but I wasn't sure if my perks would be accepted the way they are, because I was like looking at other people's crowdfunding campaigns and people are like $25 for a Blu-ray. I'm like, you're not getting a Blu-ray for $25. Like I'm gonna produce like 100 of these things and they're gonna cost me a decent amount of money, so it better be worth, so that's why my like the Blu-ray tier is like $100, because like that's going to eat up some of the cost of that. My digital download version of the movie is $55, because I looked at this crowdfunding thing. It's not just like you're not just buying the movie, you're helping to make it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those perks had better be worth it in those ways. And I didn't offer like, you don't get a printed poster or anything like that. I was trying not to do anything that would require like a bunch of upfront costs, because it kind of to me like defeats the whole purpose of this whole thing.
Yeah.
So you were smarter than us.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah! Because I think our Blu-ray was like $10 or $12.
No, I think it was.
Posters were like.
I think Blu-rays were 50 and DVDs were 25.
When did you guys do yours though?
We did ours 2013
or 2014.
Okay, well that was like a long, like that was
Kickstarter was like just
fresh,
kind of out.
Yeah, Kickstarter was like blowing up then, and that's why we kind of did it then. And you know, I hear this saying where like you get one crowdfunding campaign, and I kind of regret like blowing ours
we
so
blew
early because
so hard.
We were terrible back then. We knew nothing of what we were doing.
Maybe we could get two, because the cool thing about that was nobody knew who the hell we were. So I don't think we really lost anything.
You could probably do another one. Enough time has passed. You have your channel now and stuff.
There's actually people that I see that basically every single movie they make is a crowdfunded movie. And I'm just like, that's great for you guys, but I would feel bad after the first one, you know, because assuming that, you know, you're making some sort of profit from the movie and getting connections and stuff to make another one, like I would just feel bad asking like fans, friends, and family to keep pouring their money into it. You know what I mean?
Well, I will say I'm not assuming to make a profit.
You never can.
Ideally, that would be great.
Exactly.
Like that, and that. So, like, I did this documentary called "Conscious Contact: Full Disclosure" with another partner of mine for this side thing we have called Dockside Media. So we do like these supernatural documentaries where we just go interview a couple people, do some B-roll stuff. They're very quick turn. You know what I mean? Like we can film all the stuff in a couple weeks, edit the movie, it's out. Cost $1,000, and that's kind of what we've been doing, these quick turn kind of things. Because
where do these movies go to?
So that's where we're at. So Conscious Contact: Full Disclosure is this alien documentary. It's out. Well, it's finished. We have a few discussions we're putting out there for distribution.
Okay.
And we're seeing where that lands. And if we can't get any strong bites, then we're just going to go to like Film Hub and self-release. But you know, even if it only makes a little bit here and there, like it's fine, because it only costs like less than $1,000 to make.
Right.
And so if we get some residual income every month from just streams, because it has a catchy alien cover and people eat up the aliens and stuff like that, that kind of content, then it seems worth it. But those were made as well with like, let's keep them as cheap as possible in hopes of making a little bit of profit. This Transient, obviously still super cheap, $20,000 in the grand scheme of things is nothing for a movie.
Right.
But I don't like, I'm going to try and make the best movie we can for the littlest amount of money, but I still have expectations of it being like financial success.
I've worked on several like $20,000 features over this year, and it's like, it's possible. But the thing is, like, usually it's a very, 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 very small crew just working their asses off trying to make up for the fact that, you know, you don't have the money to hire more crew members and you don't have the money to add days. So it's extremely challenging.
Yeah. And that's honestly, that was like the goal for the money is days. Like I want the time, like I just want time for once. Like I shot a goddamn short film that was 12 pages in 6 hours. And I'm like, what are we doing?
Holy
like,
shit.
Impressive.
That was, and it's called Fun Time with Borfi. You can go watch it. It's something. I'll just say that. But I mean, six hours with 12 pages is stupid. I want to do like 4 or 5 pages a day and like, you know, actually take time to talk everything out, think everything.
Yeah. I'm actually directing a feature right now. It's a World War II feature, and we're doing like 10 pages a day, and it's overwhelming.
That's overwhelming. That's okay occasionally, but every time, like, it's just too much. And you know,
4 to 5 pages a day is like the sweet spot. That's when you get some time to kind of digest issues and not just stress and pull your hair out.
I'm more of the thought that like equipment is important, gear is important, but if I had a Sony DSLR or a Red and I had more time with the DSLR, I could probably make a better looking movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so that's, we have the equipment already, so we don't have to think about that, but that's just the goal, is to get as much time as possible. But also, bringing in a DP with his Red, he doesn't deserve to be paid $175 a day or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, that's kind of, I'm assuming he's your friend, right? Because, he's bringing a Red.
Not
but,
for long.
He didn't, not for long. He just heard that and he's like, nope, not his friend anymore.
Fuck this. Yeah.
But that's the thing, like with these low budget movies, is like everybody knows, or everybody should know, what they're getting themselves into. Yeah. And in these instances, it's not about the money. It's about trying to make something good with the little money that you do have.
Exactly.
And, so we're actively, making a feature film next year. And, we're going through the exact same process you are, where it's like trying to figure out, X amount of money per day and how many people we can afford per day. And, everybody that's involved in the production is like, I don't care what I'm paid, just bring on more people, because, I want everything to run smoothly.
Yeah, there's a tricky balance there. And I'd also like to not spend all the money on the production. Like, even like, okay, like, sure, it'd be amazing to have a decent amount of money for post-production. I mean, I'm going to edit this thing myself, but even after, let's say the movie's done, I'd still like to have money for marketing.
Right.
Which I don't foresee having the money there, but that in an ideal world, I think it would be a positive, because unless you're like blessed and you've made like an amazing movie and you get into like one of the 5 real film festivals that matter, and you get a distribution deal and your movie's now out wide release and not like on like Wild Eye or something like that, like then you made it. Or you made a movie that might make some money. But if you're like getting like on Wild Eye or one of these really small distributors that like get like 300 movies a month or whatever, you might as well be marketing it yourself. Like,
right.
So I don't know. We'll see where it lands. I'm leaning towards this is going to be amazing. Okay. And you guys are going to be blown away. And
I'm a fan.
Where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at right now. But give me like a month or two and I'll probably be like, this is the worst movie I've ever not even made yet.
The roller coaster continues.
Yeah. Why the hell are we doing this?
Real quick, just want to say hey to Mike is in the house.
Boom, Mike.
Chat. He, of course, complains to me all the time about money, and he joins right as we're talking about money and says, picked a good time to join.
Do you guys have people that you are going to approach, or are you still trying to find the potential investors?
I think
still trying to find. We have a couple people that, have expressed interest. No money figures have been thrown around with that interest. So they could see the figure we want and just be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So it's all up in the air right now, because we just finished the first draft of the script.
Okay.
And we're refining it. And then once we get a solid second draft, that's whenever we're probably going to start actually showing it to potential investors and saying, like, this is an accurate representation of the movie we want to make. Here's the short film that we made as a proof of concept, what we made on a really low budget over 2 days.
So, but that's cool that you have a proof of concept, at least something you can show. Are you doing like a pitch deck as well?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Pitch deck.
Yeah, I put together a nice pitch deck, and I paid this woman to create a poster. And I've heard like both ways, where it's like, don't create a poster or do create a poster. To me, it's like, if it's a cool visual, like, why not?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really hurt anything, in my opinion. The worst case scenario is like the distribution company at the end says, like,
right,
we think that is a bad representation for the marketing, and just picks another one.
Yeah. So then you don't use that poster. It's not a big deal.
I think it was like if you're just a screenwriter and you're trying to get your movie produced, don't have a poster made, because that'll like upset a potential director that like
I could see that. I feel like everybody just hates screenwriters.
Yeah,
because screenwriters are always trying to say like, no, this is the movie you want to make, and the director's like, but it's not the one I want to make.
Exactly. So yeah, no, that's cool. I think it's so hard to find those people, and then to like, how do you approach them? I've talked
shamelessly.
Yeah, I know. I've talked to like this client I've had for years who's like an entrepreneur, and I was like, oh, I got this movie I'm working on. Maybe you could help me try ideas about finding investors or whatever, because I was hoping like maybe he'd want to be one.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't bring up that fact that he wanted to be one, but we had a meeting, and he's like, what you should do, what I would recommend, is find one and put like more of your energy into like getting one big investor than like 10 small ones or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I think that makes sense as well, if you can find that magical unicorn.
Yeah.
But
it's tough.
So that's why, you know, we'll see how it works out with finding businesses as well. I feel like that might be an easier sell to nickel and dime some businesses, and you know, maybe get some free product and stuff like that. You never know. It's hard to say with this economy and stuff for nowadays as well.
Yeah.
So
everything's stuck on a shipping container.
Yeah, exactly.
Danny asks, what are the 5 festivals that matter?
Which got your Sundance, got your South by Southwest,
Tribeca,
Con, Austin.
Yep, that's pretty much it, right? I mean, there's some
other big
some
ones,
horror ones, like
horror, yeah.
But if you're like getting in, like I've gotten into like a bunch of ones like Delaware, like whatever. Horror Hound is a pretty big horror thing, and I go to that film festival, and it was like the convention's cool, but the film part was like no one was there, no one cares.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, because the New Jersey Horror Con and PA, and they just made the PA Horror Con. Like they have film festivals associated, and I've kind of heard the same thing where, you know, the Horror Con's great, it's packed.
Yeah.
But the film festival, there's 5 people in the screening.
I've been to the New Jersey Horror Film Festival a few times in Atlantic City. The last time we won best editing or something.
Congratulations.
That's cool. And I wasn't actually there, but some of the other people went, and it looked decently busy, but yeah, it's still like the least important thing of those kind of horror things. So I think you need to find just a horror film festival.
Yeah.
The con part really is where everybody goes to, and when you walk in, you're like, oh, this is awesome, there's so many people, but they don't care about the movies. Which is weird. But
especially this kind of sucks, but it's like, especially like low budget movies with like no names attached. Like they might care if there's Robert Englund attached to something.
Oh yeah,
Who?
Trying to get them to care
Jason
about
in
Hellraiser, right?
Okay.
James says Fantastic Fest. Haven't heard of that one.
Sounds pretty fantastic.
It's a fantastic one.
Is that where Killer Nun Maniac Nun is playing, James?
The Manic Nun, actually.
Manic Nun.
So, you know, I just said that basically it's hard to get people to care about these low budget independent movies if there aren't names attached. What I found really cool was over the summer, I got to go to Mutant Fest, which was hosted by Joe Bob Briggs at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater.
Yep.
And so they showed our short film Stalked, which is what we're making. Spoiler alert, we're making a feature next year, guys. Haven't made a video about that, but
haven't talked about it 37 million times already.
It's for our short film Stalked. And so
is that the corn one? There. Like the corn?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I'll send you a private link.
One of the corn ones.
Wait, didn't I see that?
Did you? Did you see it at a festival? Because we haven't released it.
Were you at one of the festivals?
No, I didn't see it. Wait, are you sure they go to the farm?
Yeah, they go to a farm.
Okay, maybe I don't know. Or maybe I just saw the trailer for it.
There is a trailer.
That might have been what I've seen. I think the last thing I watched of yours was the Halloween thing, the trick-or-treat thing.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That one sucked.
Thank you.
It wasn't that good.
I liked it. It was fun.
The guy in the skull mask fucking blew.
All right, Andrew, it sucked. Is that what you needed to hear?
Actually, yeah. It's good.
I thought it was good. I thought it was fun.
Tell me what your favorite part. No.
I'm supposed to actually. I think that lead actor guy is in the short film I'm supposed to be working on this weekend.
Oh, Eric?
I think so.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like Eric. He's a good dude.
I've never met him, but some of the people I've worked with have worked with.
He's pretty cool. I like Eric. That was the first.
He was in
time
this
I
really
met.
shitty movie short film I saw called Trick or Treat.
Yeah,
I don't have high hopes for him. We've got to say no, dude, that was fun. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It was.
No,
really
I'm
cool.
kidding. I like shitting on the stuff that I'm in because it's fun.
That's fair. That's what I do too.
And Andrew's just a terrible actor.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but if we're admitting it, yeah, that's fine.
I'm kidding, Andrew.
Just gonna sit here and pretend like I wasn't the best part of the goddamn movie.
Send me, it's stalked.
Yep.
Send to me. I want to check it out. Yeah.
I will send you the private link right as soon as we get off this live cast.
I will send you another private link.
You will. Andrew's private stalked.
Andrew's stock.
Andrew's private
the
stock.
Uncensored version.
You're gonna feel a little corny.
So jumping back, Joe Bob's Mutant Fest.
Yeah.
You know, I heard we got there and it was packed. I couldn't believe how many people were there. Obviously, everybody's there to see Joe Bob, but I heard one of the what do you call them? That helps like ushers say that they were completely sold out, and that meant over 850 people were there. And it was actually just a surreal experience because they all watched the movies on the huge drive-in screen.
That's so cool.
And you know, whenever I got up to accept our hubby award for
Nice.
Stocked, you know, I got to shake Joe Bob's hand on the stage and everything and meet Darcy, and everybody started like honking their horns, blowing their lights, like clapping, blowing their lights.
Yeah, you know.
You do what you want with your lights. I'm not here to judge. That is
but
cool.
You know,
That's super cool. Yeah.
That was just such a surreal experience because like I'm used, at least my experiences, I've traveled like 9 hours to film festivals before, and there has been 2 other people in the audience.
Yep.
To have
so
850
right?
people watch your movie on a giant drive-in screen, hear people honking their horns and everything afterwards, it was just surreal.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So people
Andrew,
do care. It's just hard to find those people that care.
Andrew, were you in Stalked?
Yes.
Oh, never mind. Don't send me that link then. That's cool. Yeah, that is awesome.
The good thing about me and Stocked is you hardly notice.
Okay. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm jealous. I actually submitted something to that and I didn't get in, but then one of the people emailed me who was the judge and was like, "Oh, yours was my favorite, but it didn't get in." I was like, "Oh, cool." So it was at least nice that somebody like actually like yeah. But yeah, I saw like screenshots of it when they were doing it, and I saw like a little tent with a TV, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I didn't miss anything."
So I felt so bad for some of the filmmakers that were there because they had everything kind of set up, and so it was I liked the festival, right? It was cool that, you know, Joe Bob was there and he hosted this and brought a lot of attention to these small filmmakers. However, the organization was terrible. They released the schedule or the accepted films like a week before the screening.
Yeah, I saw.
And then didn't even release the schedule until like 3 days before the films. And then so like people flew in from like LA and they find out that their movie is not even showing on the humongous drive-in. It's in a tent on a little like 48-inch TV. And then
that's not good.
it downpoured, right? And the tents flooded and like broke the TVs.
Oh my god.
And so there were people that came there and didn't even get to watch their movie in the tent on the TV and didn't get it on the big screen either. However, they did start playing those movies that missed playing in the tent at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Ah, okay.
So everybody's sleeping whenever they played it now.
It's better than nothing, I guess. Yeah. That sucks.
So I know a couple filmmakers that, I met there and actually met afterwards and stuff, that their stuff played in the tent and they were really pissed about it.
Well, when you do that, you get all excited. You're like, oh, I got into something. And then you go and then you're like kind of embarrassed, which is shitty. Like you should be proud, like your movie's showing and you go and there's like 3 people, nobody cares. It's like, it seems like a fault of the festival. Like, like I get those horror cons, you can't really control people, but they need to do something because it just seems like, I don't think it's they're not trying to be disrespectful to the filmmakers, but I've been to enough of them where that's how it always is.
Yeah.
And so I guess I just need to stop going to them because my expectations, I should know what they're going to be there, I guess.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's reality hits you really quick when you get there. You're like, oh, okay.
That's kind of why I kind of stopped doing the film festival circuit / route for a lot of our films, where I just like found them all to be a waste of time
and money.
So and money, a huge waste of money. So I would rather submit to film festivals that are local, where I can actually meet people. That I could potentially work with and collaborate with or get jobs with. So I've kind of fell out of the film festival route over the past couple of years, but for like a big feature film, you kind of have to.
Yeah. When you have a feature, you got to do everything you can to get out there for just the hopes that maybe you'll run into some sort of distribution person,
right?
Whatever happens, but you have to try for something like that. But for a short film, like, I don't know, like the best thing that's going to happen probably is you might win an award, but what's that going to do for you besides make you feel a little better?
No, nothing. I mean, it's something to add to a pitch deck for a feature, but other than that,
I won.
Yeah.
Can we just bring the actual hubby with us to every single time we pitch to somebody?
Columbia, PA Film Festival said I'm the best editor.
By the way, I don't know if you recognize that name. That's Joe Bob Briggs right there.
So you've ran a successful crowdfunding campaign.
What am I doing now?
What are the next steps for you?
The next step is to get all the money and just put it into crypto or something. I have no idea. No.
Just rub it on my titties.
To the fucking moon.
I put it in crypto and it's all gone. Well, we tried. No. So
take it to the casino, put it on black.
Just go in, put it down. Walk out with nothing. It wasn't my money, I guess. No. There's a bunch of steps, I guess. And the first step is to just chill out and relax for like a little bit and let it sink in. I feel like, man, some of these, I had a couple people at the end here, and it's not over yet, but I had a few people like do $1,000, $2,000. And it's like, oh, what are you doing? Don't do this. I can't do this. Like, I don't want to owe you this. You know what I mean? Like, I know these people, and like, I just feel guilty in some ways. Like I am a person who does things and follows through. Like I've done Bad Movie Night for 5 years. Like I'm not one of those people who
on a dare. No.
Exactly. Like I'm not like no. So like I make things. I will make this movie. I don't doubt that. But for whatever reason, it's just like I can't believe somebody would do that. So I gotta let some of that sink in a little bit and kind of chill with. Because I've been going hard. I'm sure you noticed on Facebook and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think I made like 45 videos just for like social media.
The hot sauce challenges.
I did a live thing pretty much every weekend. The first one was like a 9-hour live stream thing, which coincided with the 5 years of Bad Movie Night. So that was fun because awesome. It was like a celebration of just the channel and the friends and everything. And we had so many cool fans and patrons there hanging out the whole time. So that was like just super fun. And then I did like some hot sauce challenge. We did some other like live improv thing with some actors and a whole bunch of stuff. And then every day a video and posts and updates and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, I am tired of myself. Like I'm just tired of myself. Like I'm so fucking annoying and I'm so tired of it.
That's how I feel every time I release a short film, and I'm just
Yeah.
like posting like, "Hey, check out our movie."
Exactly. And it's like nobody. It's like I gotta stop, but it's what you have to do. Like,
Yep.
Well, yeah,
so
and
it's like social media like isn't there to help you get your message out. So like you have to be relentless with it because half the time people aren't even seeing it. And so my route was like, I'm going to do a short video. It'll be every day. That'll be unoffensive and funny. That was the goal, because like, I think it'd be harder to get annoyed with somebody who's just like, give me money, give me money, give me money, and not like entertaining at all. So I was trying to be like a little funny, a little quip here and there. So if you watch it, it's not like a complete waste of your time, even if you're like not interested. And then I would do more like heartfelt, like, hey guys, I'm making a movie because I'm passionate about this and I want to do that. You know, there's different audiences there for people to at least like maybe hear out your message. But like I said, I have a whole task list of things that are like I think very important to crowdfunding. And so if you're like planning on running one, I would say the first thing you want to do is come up with a pre-backer list, which is
what's a pre-backer list?
So the first 3 days of the campaign are like super, super important, because if you start your campaign and you have like nobody, it's going to die because there's no momentum. So a pre-backer is like people that you know that will give immediately. And you need to like talk to them and be like, I'm launching my campaign on Monday. I think they say you should do it on Tuesday because that's like the best social media day or whatever. But talk to those people like a week ahead of time or a couple weeks ahead of time, and then remind them the day of and say, hey, I need you to at least put in something today if you can, because we need to show that there's a bunch of backers starting and like there's momentum to this campaign. So that's what we did. And that's what it really worked pretty well, because like I said, we got to like 35-40% in that first few days, which was, I was like surprised. So I think if you're launching a campaign, spend some time, come up with a list of people. That's what I did, who I knew would give right away. I didn't know how much they would give, but I knew I could at least get them to show up. And we did that with our team. So we had 3 people, me, Suji, and AJ. And Suji, like I said, has a massive list of people. So that was the first thing. Got that, guys?
Write it down.
Write that shit down, okay? Sam, I don't even know what Sam's doing. Sam's over there.
He's writing all this down.
You better be Sam, God damn it.
He's a note taker.
Yeah. Well, the other things I did is like I reached out to the Colonial Theater. You know the Colonial Theater, Leslie.
That's where. So we went to the First Glance Film Festival, and Stock showed there.
That's a cool theater. I mean, it's got history too.
Yeah, they filmed the Blob there. That scene in the Blob. Real quick, a Moses in the chat. Hey Moses, how you doing tonight? He says he loved Look of Alicia. Thank you.
So I reached out to them, and I reached out to a bunch of theaters. I was like, hey, I'm running this campaign. You guys have any interest in like supporting it? I'm trying to foster like this local filmmaking community, and anything I can do. They emailed me back like immediately. She's like, oh, I love this. What can we do? What can we do together? I'm like, well, you have like 20,000 Facebook followers. If you just like, you know, show your support, share the link or whatever, that'd be cool. And I'll come and I don't know, you want like a commercial for social media? So I'll film something, whatever you want. It like offended her or something. She's like, no, never mind. That's not what I was looking for. I was like, okay, well, what are you looking for? I don't know.
What did you want? Yeah.
I don't know. She's like, I wanted something with horror. I was like, okay, well, I know horror directors. We can show something or do. And then she never responded again.
Yeah. I hate that when people don't just come out and tell you what they're thinking and then just get upset and just that's the end
because you're not a mind reader.
I'm not a mind reader. I was trying. Like, I'll do whatever you want. Like, but,
you should have known specifically what I meant off of my vague phrases.
Yeah. So I tried stuff like that. That didn't really go anywhere. I think ultimately, the best thing you can do is personally touch the people, and not in like a creepy way, although maybe that'll work for you too. But like if you can like talk to people on a personal level, meaning if you're on a live stream and you can talk to them, you know, there's a connection there. Look, Wesley's looking at you right now. He wants you to donate to maketransient.com. Say, but it's like if you fill out a form and you just send it to 1 million people or 500 people, like the conversion rate's going to be nothing. Because how many people get those spam messages and like, I don't care, this is not even real. But if you're on Facebook and you're like, hey, Timmy, remember when we played basketball together? Because I sure as hell don't. But hey, I'm making a movie. They'll be like, oh, yeah. Hey, Chris, it's been a while. I'm like, yeah, and that kind of thing. It works. I'm not trying to like take advantage of people, because I always put in my message, I'm like, if this isn't interesting to you, feel free to disregard.
Yeah.
It's probably not the smartest thing to do, but it's kind of like for my own morals and stuff. Like I feel the need to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's also with whenever you approach investors, like the big thing you have to be upfront with is like there's a large
this shit ain't making any money. I don't know what
that you will not see your money back. Hopefully we do get your money back and you make a profit, but that's the reality of the business.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal for everyone involved, to make money. But I think if you can spin it in a way that benefits both people. So like if you're looking for an investor, you can be like, hey, I'm making a movie. You want to help make a movie? Like, we are doing it. This is an area where it happens, but not nearly as much as other areas. So how many times do you get to be involved in a movie? Not very many times. And there's people who have a lot of extra money, and something creative like this is cool to them. So they don't mind putting down some money. And I would let them to come on set, as long as they're not going to be like, interrupting things and stuff like that. And you could set those boundaries however you want. But I think it's how you sell it, because, it should benefit both people. Like they should, if they're putting $10,000 into your movie, like, I don't know, make it fun for them too. Get them their money's worth out of it in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest piece of advice or the most helpful piece of advice to kind of change my mindset a little bit on making a low budget feature, because I was one of those people. It's like, I don't think I'm going to be ready to make the step into the features, and I don't think we'll ever get enough money to make a decent feature. Was like, you kind of have to start somewhere and sometime, and it's kind of up to you to decide when that time is and what level, budget wise, you want to be in at. But you got to make that first jump, and you're probably going to lose money. But this movie that you made for $20,000 or $40,000 or whatever is going to be your calling card to basically say hey, I made this movie. It's available on Amazon Prime. It reached all these different outlets. It made some of its money back, but I have this next idea that we can make for X amount of dollars, and it'll help you, gain more funding and more networking and stuff to just keep working at it.
The follow through means something.
Exactly. It really does.
And to that, the follow through in just setting the ball in motion. Like, a lot of people talk, but they don't set the ball in motion because it's scary. So you just got to start doing it, because once you start doing something, again, it's the whole momentum thing. People will start showing up because they want to be part of something too. So you got to just start doing it. Do you guys know who Brandon Steer is? He made the Velocipaster.
No,
I've heard of the movie. I don't know who he is.
The name sounds incredible.
That movie is awesome. But I talked to him, and he got $30,000 from some Chinese investor that he thinks was a scam or something to fund this movie. But they made that fairly locally as well, somewhere in PA. But
I gotta check this out.
I know. I was like, dude, give me that person's.
Have you never heard of Velocipaster?
No.
It's funny, man. You should watch it. Yeah.
Going on the watch list.
So the other thing that we did was came up with a theme for the movie. Not necessarily if you boil down what the meat it is, but we came up with a theme that was approachable for a wide variety of people. Sorry, my alarm's going off. Meaning, so this is a sci-fi horror movie. So sure, there's a niche there of people who love sci-fi horror, but we put exposing the impact of grief on mental health through a sci-fi horror lens. So you get a general appeal of people who are oh, grief and blah, that kind of stuff, trying to pull at heartstrings.
Right.
And I've read about that as being a good thing. We consulted with a crowdfunding company. I'm not going to say their name. Wasn't a big fan of them. Waste of money, generally, because they gave us a few things to do, but most of the stuff we had already planned on doing ourselves. One of the things they said you should do is when somebody contributes, you should find their profile picture on Facebook and then take a screen capture of the campaign page and then thank them personally on Facebook and tag them. That way it shows on their Facebook page so that the people that follow them get to see it.
Kind of like what James asked you the other day why you were just posting pictures?
Yeah, that's why and I was like, what the fuck? What do you think I'm doing for, James? I don't normally just post your stupid face on my Facebook. So there's that.
No, that is a good idea, because like personally thank them. I think that's a great piece of advice.
Yeah, it gets engagement. Like you want engagement, organic engagement on social media. The other thing was like they said like you need to get somebody who will match donations. So like get somebody who will match like a couple $1,000s. I'm like, dude, if I had somebody who's just like willy-nilly to say, okay, I'll give you a couple $1,000, I don't think I'd be sitting here asking people for $25. But in the end, you know, it actually a couple people did do that. So
that's really awesome.
It happens like that. And again, I think if the campaign had been at 25% right now, that wouldn't happen. But because we kept the momentum going and got it, that those people show up. So should have went for 50, I guess.
Yeah.
Should have went for 50. Now, I don't think that was feasible. I'm surprised we got to 20, honestly. I thought maybe 10, 15 tops. And we shot high because they say that's what you should do as well. And it worked.
I don't really remember. I know like Kickstarter is like basically you hit it or not. And like if you don't hit it, like you don't get any money.
Yeah.
I forget how Indiegogo works with their crowdfunding.
Yeah, so with Indiegogo, you can do it either way. We did the flexible way, so we get it no matter what. And then they take 5% at the end. And I think they hold $1,000 or something for like a week or two. And then they'll send that to you later for some reason.
Okay.
I guess to see if cards don't hit or something. I don't know. But we'll find out. I don't know how long it'll take till we get the money. But like I said, we're not spending it right away anyways.
Right.
It's just going to go in a bank account.
Yep.
Until we figure everything out.
The old business bank account.
Oh, business bank account. I got to figure out how taxes are going to work on all that.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've had those talks too. And I'm like, so I'm going to be the sole person in charge of fucking paying out people like royalties and all that stuff and filing taxes at the end of every single year for the rest of my life that the movie makes money.
No.
Yeah, so it's like,
yeah, I talked to my friend Tony, whose wife is a lawyer, and she has paperwork for like film investment that she wrote for him that's generic that can be changed and be like, you know, chances you aren't going to make any money and all that stuff. So like I can use that, but I don't know if it's good. Like I still need to get a lawyer, I guess.
Yeah.
It's another thing we're also working into is like, you got to get a lawyer.
Yeah, and I don't like how much is that going to cost? I'm like, dude, I only made 20 grand. You're going to charge me like $5 grand or something, probably. Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see.
That's the number that we got. $5 grand for an attorney.
Exactly. So we'll see where it ends up. One last thing I would suggest if you're running a campaign, for the love of God, go to GoDaddy and buy a domain name that you can permanently forward to your campaign page. Because I'm so tired of people being like, go to indiegogo.com/me/fart-the-movie/donate. Like nobody's going to be able to do that.
Right. That's actually one thing that I was really impressed with. And I mean, I don't follow crowdfunding campaigns or Indiegogo or Kickstarter or anything like that, but I was pretty surprised when I saw that you had your own URL.
Yeah. It was like $10. Like it was worth it to me to be able to say make transient.com. Even though half the time when I would share it, I'd spell transient wrong, which probably isn't a good thing. But whatever.
It's like don't make it hard to spell and don't make it long, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So naturally, like when I created a company, I went with Thinking Art Entertainment, which is like the world's longest company name.
Yeah. Well, I went with Bad Movie Night, even though I review decent movies. And do you know how many times I get, this isn't a bad movie? I'm like, I know, I watched the video. That's my fault, I guess. But what are you going to do? Yeah. And like I was saying with, don't be like turned off if you don't have a following already. Like as long as you have those connections, like start working on that. If you don't, like start just friending people and meeting people. That's the benefit of like, we do the Film Hacks podcast and I might do my Bad Movie Night podcast, but I meet so many people doing that. Like you, Wesley, you chipped in a few bucks here and there. And like, if you're running one, I'll chip in some money. Like it's just you build these networks out of people that will support and share your stuff, and hopefully, you know, decent relationships with people, like authentic relationships though. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know, but who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Well, I'm really excited to see, you know, where you go with the movie from here. But the first step is at least done for the time being. Well, actually, it's not done. You still have like 40 some more hours, right?
Yeah, and I had a guy say he was going to do $2,500, but he hasn't done it yet. So we'll see.
That son of a bitch. Call him out right now. Like, say, like,
I'm like, come on, you can't leave me hanging like this, dude. Not like this. Like, I don't care that we made that. You can't leave me hanging.
That is one kind of unfortunate thing where, like, some people will see that you hit your goal and they'll just be like, they hit their goal. You don't need more money.
That's why I didn't really put out a video yet thanking everyone, because I'm like, there's still a day left. Like, there's potentially some people that come in, and then I'll do a video like thanking everyone.
But it's not about just hitting the goal. It's
that's what
having, you know, more to be able to do more with.
Yeah, I think people don't understand. That's what I'm saying. When I get the comments like, how can you make a movie for 20 grand? It's just people don't. It's not like I'm going to the store and like, one movie, please. Here's $20,000. Okay, it's done. Like, that's not how this stuff works. So more money is always better.
Right. And there's probably, you know, if need be, like if somebody had to chip in out of their own pocket here and there just to make sure that the movie was completed, that would probably happen if like that 20 grand was all, you know.
I'm that's gonna happen. I'm gonna end up paying more money out of my own pocket. I've already paid a decent amount for that crowdfunding company, which again, I wouldn't recommend. Now there's people out there that I should have, like the Kickstarter guy. I think he probably would have been. You guys ever watch this guy, Justin Giddings? He gives good crowdfunding information. And I should have spoken to him, because I think he probably would have been a good resource as well. But you live to learn. That's how these things work.
Right.
And I'm not going to complain too much, because we did hit our goal. So
yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm still in shock. I'm in awe.
Well, hopefully more people continue to support Transient. Yeah. And also your YouTube channel, which what's your release schedule like, you know, for your YouTube videos coming up?
Well, we do our podcast Monday nights live, and then I do some editing, and it goes out Thursdays. And then throughout the week, I just do random. It's just random, whatever I watch, and then I'll review. So it has its ups and downs if I've been busy or not working on stuff. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something, but I forget.
About crowdfunding or
no? I do film hacks with James, the Fontaine guy, and those are usually every Wednesday or Thursday when I get them edited. And that's just a podcast, but that's a filmmaking podcast where we talk to random people, and we talk to people like Wesley about this movie. All he did though, he just complained about Andrew the whole time being a shitty actor, and I was like,
I did.
He can go fuck himself. What do you do?
No, he didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm thinking of.
I actually saw one of your videos. You saw the new Resident Evil movie.
I liked it. I don't care what people say.
Listen. The video game fan in me fucking loved it. The movie fan in me was like,
oh no,
but the video game guy, hell yeah.
I think my review was like, I mean, it's not a good movie. I don't know who would think this is it's not, but I thought it had a lot of the aesthetic from the game and love for the game that I was like, I kind of enjoyed this. I don't know.
And that's kind of what you always wanted from just one fucking Resident Evil movie. And they really didn't do well. Like, and I mean, they even had like a lot of the stuff they showed, like Nemesis and Liquor. Like they had all that in the first couple movies, but it's like, you're still missing the fucking mark hard.
Yeah.
Whereas that movie felt like the game movie.
And I played the games, and they're cheesy as hell too half the time, and they like waver between like scary and then stupid and cheesy, and I felt like that's what the movie did. So I don't know, felt like Resident Evil to me. I don't know, but I wasn't I had like very, very low expectations, so when I went into it and it was all right, my mind was fucking blown. I was like, wow.
The thing that I just kept trying to wrap my head around was like, I read the budget was like 40 million, and I was like, where did that money go?
Not in that Liquor. That thing looked awful.
No, Wes and I were in the car, and I was like, what they made that movie like, what, 3-4 million? I was like, not bad. He's like, 40. I'm like, fucking what?
Yeah, like the mansion looked really cool though.
Yeah, the mansion.
There was like some really cool shots occasionally.
Honestly, the G-Virus guy at the end did. I mean, not. He looked weird when
He
it
looked
was
like a tyrant. Yeah,
but yeah, at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that required visual effects in that movie just looked like a video game, but like 2000s video games. I was kind of blown away with how bad it looked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a mess. But again, I don't know, kind of enjoyed it. Like, I'm not going to defend it as a good movie. I never would. Like, but I don't know. I have a channel called Bad Movie Night. I don't know what you guys are expecting from me. Which is, you know, it is weird. Like, my favorite movies are like the most pretentious horror crap. Like, that's what I love. Well, like the newer Suspiria, I love that.
I never saw that.
Oh my god! I love giallo movies. I love Hereditary, all that kind of stuff.
I liked Hereditary. I didn't like Midsummer.
Yeah. Really? You like Midsummer?
Yeah.
Did you see Possessor?
No.
Oh, I love Possessor. That's a Brandon Cronenberg. It's David Cronenberg's son.
Oh, I didn't even know he had a son that made movies.
It's fantastic. You should check that out. Or The Dark and the Wicked. Have you seen that?
No. Did you ever see It Comes at Night?
Yeah, I like that movie.
I liked that one a lot, and a lot of people hated it.
Never seen it, but I have.
It's because they was marketed like it was going to be some scary horror thing, and it was more like this weird drama kind of thing.
It was just like a lot of like dread.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I like that.
Made, yeah.
It's very well made. What else? There's another horror that is kind of like alongside Hereditary, and It Comes at Night that I really like.
It Follows.
It Follows is great.
Follows is okay.
I love that movie.
I like the setup more than I liked kind of like the second and third act of that movie. Although we have one of my favorite horror franchises is coming back to life next month.
Texas Chainsaw or something?
Scream.
No, Scream.
Oh, Scream. Okay.
I'm really excited.
Is that one of your favorite?
It is. It's probably. Really? I think it's. My memory isn't quite. I watched these movies when I was really young. I can't really remember the first horror movie that I watched. But it was probably one of the first horror movies that I watched, which spawned me down discovering Halloween and Freddy and Jason and everything. But it has always stuck with me because
that's cool. I'm guessing you're younger than me. How old are you?
32.
Yeah, okay. You're a few years younger than me. I'm 36. I'm not a big Scream fan.
Because you're
I think I was like at the age where I was like edgy teen, or was like, and it felt like they were neutering horror movies.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is for lameoids. Like, give me the
real
shit.
Still feel that way?
I don't know. I've seen the first Scream, and it's all right. Like, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've really ever seen the sequels, or if I don't remember them.
Okay.
At least.
The first one's better than all of them. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And the first one's got like such good meta and commentary.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. Like all the meta commentary, and while still being kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, my like favorite Wes Craven movie is probably Shocker. So that
Shocker.
So don't listen to me.
Haven't seen that one.
Guy gets like electrocuted, and then he's like a demon. It's shit's crazy. As far as the meta though, I think that's one of the reasons I love Cabin in the Woods is just the absolute trouncing of a genre that I love, because they just fucking rip it.
Oh, totally.
While still being the same thing,
Yes. Yeah, but intentionally, yeah.
I need to see this Shocker movie. And what else? Velocipaster.
Velocipaster's fun, man. It is like, when there's bad movies that are like intentionally bad, and then you're like, they're trying too hard. It is an intentionally bad movie, but it's well made and it's funny, so it works.
Okay.
But I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah. I will check it out. So we are coming to the end of the podcast. So if anybody has any last minute questions for Chris, pop them into the chat. You win a successful Indiegogo campaign.
I already had that. This is bullshit, guys. You said there was a prize. No, thank you. No, I thank you for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming on
pleasure,
and
man.
chatting with
Absolutely.
us. And
Anytime.
you know, it's kind of funny because you live 10 to 20 minutes away, but like this is the most, I mean, aside from me being on the Film Hacks, this is the most we've ever chatted. So, you know, kind of getting to
at some point, Wesley, we should meet up and do something, you know, get a beer or something.
Watch, it'll be 2024 before that happens.
You'll be like, hey, Chris, you want to meet up? And be like, dude, I'm making my fucking movie right now. Would you just leave me alone? You'll be like, but I'm running my third crowdfunding campaign and I need
Please help us.
So, Chris, the odds are better that you and I 2 hours away would have a beer together first.
Okay. Is Wesley that busy all the time?
Yeah, actually, he really is recently.
It's been pretty crazy the last 6 months how busy I've been. And
don't complain. That's good.
I know. I'm
Not a wrong thing.
knock on wood, hopefully making a drastic life change very soon. And I just hope the busyness keeps up. So,
well, I'm rooting for you, dude. I hope it works
Thank
out.
you.
Yeah.
Which is why that very expensive paperweight is sitting on my counter. So,
But hey, you know what they say? Always be scooching, baby.
always be scooching.
ABS.
Son of a bitch.
Sell that black magic for like
So,
$1,000 or two.
you know, I thought about selling it, and a lot of people have told me to I should sell it because you know I can recoup a little bit of the cost of the new camera. However, I'm still not going to fully just commit to just operating, you know, the Red, because I get a lot of like low budget stuff where I'm just like, I'm not going to bring my $10,000
rig,
package
no.
onto this thing where I'm getting paid like $150 a day. So like I'm going to keep it around for like friends and people, like just low budget projects that I just want to be on. But
that makes sense. I mean, like I have a Black Magic, like a Pocket Cinema 4K, and I don't.
That's the one I have.
I don't use that for a lot of things because it doesn't have autofocus. And so if I'm doing like some local dance recital or something like that, like I need to be able to just move around to a few cameras and shit. So like I can't use that half the time.
Yeah. What camera do you use for that?
I have a couple Sonys. I have an A6400 and an A6300.
And they have pretty good
Handycam?
autofocus, right?
Handycam, yeah. But no, those are like they shoot 4K. They're fine. The autofocus is decent. And so for stuff like that, it works out well. And then I had like a Ninja Flame, one of those Atomos, so I could shoot and like log and stuff. But it fell and broke. Now I'm sad because it was like $700.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that's bad? My gaffer Hugh, he might even be in the chat for all I know. His 600D broke over the last week, and that's we don't know. He sent me a message, or actually I saw on Facebook that he posted a picture of it like cracked, and he said he thinks it was from whenever we had it up in the sky the other night on a shoot. He thinks the wind and a tree probably hit it. So, but that's a $2,000 light.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do either.
No,
I just
one of those things. It's like, son of a bitch.
When I got my screen back, I was like, I don't see a crack, but it's just not turning on. I was like, I'll just give it a day. That'll fix it. Didn't fix anything.
Didn't fix it.
Just put it in some rice. You know, that's the cure-all.
Yeah,
wait a few hours.
When we shot that Morphe movie and it was 6 hours, everybody left and I was by myself, and I left my gimbal there. I left for a day. It was at a school too. I had to sneak back into the school during the day. I was like, I'm gonna get fucking arrested. I found my gimbal sitting under a tree. It had stormed the night before. It was fine though.
It was fine.
Yeah, it worked. I was like, oh shit.
Which gimbal?
It was just like a Ronin 3, I think. Is that which one it was?
They have the they have the Ronin and the Ronin S2.
S2 maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah.
What it is. Yeah, okay, yes, it's the S2. Yeah.
Okay. That's impressive that it held up.
I have one of those original, one of like the old school Ronins that holds like 18 pounds.
Oh, the Ronin M?
Yeah, that might be right. I've never used it. I got it used because I was like, I can put this on something at some point. It's just like sitting in the box. When am I ever going to use this?
Yeah.
Probably never. But
I wish I got gigs where I could use autofocus, and especially I'm on all these low budget gigs where they're like, we don't have money to buy an AC or like pay for an AC or anything. So I'm like, cool, I'll just manually focus off these manual lens.
They're like, we want you to do this following shot handheld while you're manually focusing the whole time.
Dude, it's such a fucking nightmare. I'm like, it just looks bad. Like half the time they're going in and out of focus, but you know, it is what it is. Like that's what you schedule.
That's your
more
budget,
days
guy.
For, or hire more crew.
And that's what I'm shooting for with Transient, guys.
Yep.
Half of it will be in focus and half of it won't. But whatever.
As long as half of it is, that's all that matters.
It's still a movie, all right? It still counts.
If it was a quarter,
make it work. I've seen worse.
I've seen way worse. Going to a lot of these film festivals where you look at your movie and then you wonder how some of them got in.
Dude, it's the worst when you go to one of those and you're like, that movie was terrible. And then they win and you're like, oh, what does that mean about me?
Yeah. You realize the bar is not what you thought it was.
Like, oh, I thought I was all right. I guess I'm awful. Oh, well.
Been there, done that.
Yep.
On that note, fellas, Chris, thank you very much for being here, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, man, this was awesome. This was fun, guys. It's good meeting you, Andrew, and Sam as well.
Absolutely, buddy.
And for anybody that has not seen Chris's YouTube channel, it is Bad Movie Night. We will throw a link in the comments. And also you can support his Indiegogo campaign at maketransient.com. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you can spell it, but that's the secret. That's how
that's the secret.
That's the secret.
And anything else you want to plug or anything before we go?
Film Hacks. Check out the podcast Film Hacks. That's every week as well. It's just low budget filmmaking stuff. We talked to filmmakers like Wesley and Jill Six we talked to recently. We had Fred Olin and Ray on. So some actual like people who've been in the industry a long time as well. So we get all kinds of people. And we try and just learn from them. So yeah, Film Hacks. That's at filmhacks.com, I think. But don't check that. Maybe check that before you go there. I don't know, actually.
All right. We'll find out. Thefilmhacks.com.
Is it The Film Hacks?
Oh, it's not loading.
Oh, God.
So no, it's not.
Oh, my God. What have I done? Look at it.
My entire computer.
Look at a 19.
Well,
you'll find something.
Filmhacks.com is not secure and is not your website. So I'm going to close out of that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is then. I do go there every week and update it, and I don't even know what it is. But it's thefilmhacks.com. There you go.
Oh, it's the one that wasn't loading.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe
that's it.
Doing some stuff.
So pop that into the comments. So yeah, check out Chris's stuff, everybody. As always, thank you all for joining us on this lovely Tuesday night. And there will be some new YouTube videos eventually, but I just got to find the time to actually do them because I've been incredibly busy. But the making of Trick or Treat will be out sometime soon, and new YouTube videos sometime soon too. But that's everything, guys.
That's a sell. That's how I like to sell too.
Eventually.
Yep. I might do something sometime.
That's all I can commit to at this point. Because I used to be like, yeah, it'll come out Monday. And then Monday would roll around and a quarter of it was done. And at this point, I'm just like, fuck
I meant next Monday.
Yeah, exactly. No, I meant Monday next month. Which Monday?
Yeah.
What are even Mondays? It's a state of mind.
Yeah, so new videos will be out eventually when I get some time. And apologies for not being able to keep track of the YouTube thing, but I'm just very busy.
Yep.
They'll be released eventually.
I believe in you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we are making a feature film as well, if you didn't catch that by our conversation with Chris. And I'm sure that whenever we have James on, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about his process of raising money, because he didn't go the traditional budget route or like raising the money via crowdfunding or private investors. I believe that he self-funded the entire thing. So really excited to kind of share all this knowledge with you about the different ways to raise money for your feature films. But with all that being said, I know I rambled a lot there towards the end. thank you again, Chris, for joining us, and thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.